Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh has arrived. I'm requesting you to please go to your seats. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. gentlemen, दोस्तों, thank you very much for joining us here today at the All India Professionals Congress 5th National Conclave. आप सभी लोगों का हार्दिक स्वागत करना चाहता हूं। धन्यवाद, जोहार, नमस्कार। We will be starting off with a small introductory ceremony. I'm going to request our respected senior leaders and dignitaries to come on stage. May I invite Honorable Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Shri Bhupesh Baghel ji, sir, our Chairman Dr. Shashi Tharoor ji, sir, AIPC in charge PL Punia ji, sir, Honorable PCC President Chhattisgarh, sir. May I invite Chitin Chandrakar ji, members of the AIPC National Executive, to please come on stage. We will start with the traditional lighting of the lamp.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
I request you to please remain standing for the state song of Chhattisgarh. Jai. I'd now like to invite the Honorable Coordinator for East Zone AIPC to give her introductory remarks. Also, ladies and gentlemen, please keep your phones on silent. Thank you.
आप सबको मनला जोहार. A gathering of brilliant minds is always inspiring, as it can lead to better action, decisions, and there are a lot of benefit for the ordinary people. 5 years back, AIPC was one such idea which had reached to this level of collective gathering that gives us such a fulfilling mind, though it is only the icebreaker. We have a long way to go for the department, the party, and the country. It is my privilege today to represent the entire national executive of the All India Professionals Congress under the able, inspiring, and charismatic leadership of Dr. Shashi Tharoorji, who is our Honorable Chairman of All India Professionals Congress and Honorable Member of Parliament, along with all my other colleagues of the National Executive. I would like to extend a warm welcome to one of the most performing, unique by his own leadership style, simple, humble, and exceptionally result-oriented, the most popular Chief Minister of India, Honorable Shri Bhupesh Bagelji, to this function, as well as a great pillar of support to the All India Professionals Congress. And we thank him for the support that he has extended out to the All India Professionals Congress and for allowing us to have this program here today in Chhattisgarh. Thank you so much, sir. Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Bhupesh Bagelji, Dr. Shashi Tharoorji, Member of Parliament and Chairman, All India Professionals Congress, Shri P.L. Punyaji, Honorable General Secretary, AICC, Honorable PCC President, Mohan Markamji, Mohammad Javed Honorable Member of Parliament, Salman Sozji, Deputy Chairman, All India Professionals Congress, Rajiv Arora in charge West Zone and Chairman in the Rajasthan government, Chandan Yadav Honorable Secretary AICC, Saptagiri Ulaka Honorable Member of Parliament and Secretary of the AICC, Honorable MLA of the area, Shri Vikas Upadhyay Guest of Honors, Senior Party Leaders, Ministers, All India National Congress Fellows from all across India. A hearty welcome to all of you. And I'm thankful to our chairman, sir, for giving us this opportunity to host this mega event, and our immense gratitude to the Honorable Chief Minister, Bhupesh Baghel ji. I'm grateful to all the distinguished speakers for sparing time for the AIPC fellows from their busy schedule. This program would not have been possible without the hard work of our AIPC Chhattisgarh State President, Shri Kshitij Chandrakar ji, and his entire team. I would like to also highlight right at the very beginning that Kshitij Chandrakar ji and his team's work during the COVID was applauded not only by the national media, but also the BBC. Their Hamar Beti campaign has been appreciated all over India, even by the opposition party leaders. We are glad to welcome you today to this program. We are very sure that you will always rise and shine and bring appreciation to the All India's Professionals Congress. Our list of speakers, including Raghuram Rajanji, Shashi Tharoorji, Bhupesh Baghelji, will be conversing on economics and development. And it is a once in a lifetime opportunity that we have such luminaries on the same stage. Life in AIPC as an organization is very simple, but it also has its challenges and learning each day, and also a second home for many of us. There's a lot to learn, and each day is a new learning experience. Once again, on behalf of Raipur, Chhattisgarh, and the very proud Eastern Zone of India of the All India Professionals Congress, I welcome you all to this event. Jai Johar, Jai Chhattisgarh.
Thank you very much. I'd now like to request Honorable AICC in charge Chhattisgarh to please say a few words, sir. Sir. Please, sir. No, no, no. सुनिए जी। आपके आशीर्वाद से।
आदरणीय शशि थरूर जी, हमारे आज के मुख्य अतिथि और यशस्वी मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय श्री भूपेश बघेल जी, और डायस पर हमारे सम्मानित महानुभाव और उपस्थित साथियों, बहनों, ये मेरा सौभाग्य है कि आज इस नेशनल कन्वेंशन ऑल इंडिया प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस के लिए हम इकट्ठे हुए और मुझे यहाँ पर सम्मिलित होने का अवसर मिला। मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता है कि इसमें रघुराम राजन जैसे इकोनॉमिस्ट भी बुलाए गए हैं और शशि थरूर जी, जिनका अपना मान सम्मान है, एक अच्छे वक्ता भी हैं, अच्छे थिंकर हैं, राइटर हैं, वो भी पूरे समय में आज और कल दोनों दिन रहेंगे। और ये बड़े सौभाग्य की बात है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी में के साथ में ऑल इंडिया प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस भी एक महत्वपूर्ण अंग के रूप में जुड़ी और जुड़ने के बाद अपने आप को मजबूत किया। अगर ऑल इंडिया प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस मजबूत होती है, अपने साथ में जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, वो जुड़ते हैं, डॉक्टर्स हैं, इंजीनियर्स हैं, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हैं, सब अगर सम्मिलित होते हैं तो कांग्रेस पार्टी मजबूत होती है। और चाहे जितनी फ्रंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हों या विभाग हों या जो प्रकोष्ठ हों, सेल्स हों, सभी अपनी अपनी अहमियत रखते हैं, अपने दायरे में रहकर उसको आगे बढ़ने का मौका मिलता है। लेकिन मुख्य उद्देश्य हम सबका यही रहता है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी किस तरह से मजबूत हो, और ऑल इंडिया प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस मजबूती के साथ में हर प्रदेश में आगे बढ़ रही है, तो जाहिर है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी इससे मजबूत होगी। बारी बात न कहते हुए मैं सबका धन्यवाद और सुबह सुबह सब लोगों ने यहाँ पर आकर उपस्थिति आकर कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाने का काम किया। और सबसे ज़्यादा मैं शशि थरूर जी का आभार व्यक्त करूँगा कि उनकी उपस्थिति से, उनके मेहनत से, उनकी जील और एफर्ट से ये कार्यक्रम और संगठन आगे बढ़ रहा है और इसी तरह से आगे बढ़ता रहेगा।
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Honorable PCC President Chhattisgarh to please enlighten us.
बोलिए भारत माता की, छत्तीसगढ़ महतारी की। ऑल इंडिया प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस के राष्ट्रीय अधिवेशन छत्तीसगढ़ की पावन भूमि रायपुर में ऑल इंडिया प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष, पूर्व केंद्रीय मंत्री और सांसद आदरणीय शशि थरूर जी, छत्तीसगढ़ राज्य के यशस्वी मुख्यमंत्री माननीय भूपेश बघेल साहब, छत्तीसगढ़ राज्य के प्रभारी हम सबके मार्गदर्शक आदरणीय पीएल पुनिया साहब, छत्तीसगढ़ राज्य के सह प्रभारी आदरणीय डॉक्टर चंदन यादव साहब, आदरणीय सांसद और सह प्रभारी आदरणीय सप्तगिरी शंकर उल्का साहब, हमारे इस शहर के विधायक और एआईसीसी सचिव आदरणीय विकास उपाध्याय जी, आदरणीय सांसद आदरणीय जी, आदरणीय सरिता मैम जी और आदरणीय क्षितिज चंद्राकर जी और पूरे देश से प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस से आए हुए हमारे साथियों और हमारे सभी वरिष्ठ जन और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया के साथियों। महात्मा गांधी जी कहते थे, भारत की आत्मा गांव में बसती है, गांव का विकास होगा तो देश का विकास होगा। हमारे यशस्वी मुख्यमंत्री माननीय भूपेश बघेल साहब छत्तीसगढ़ के गांवों के लोगों के आर्थिक उन्नति के विकास के लिए लगातार योजनाएं बना रहे हैं। उसी का परिणाम है इस कोरोना काल में भी छत्तीसगढ़ की अर्थव्यवस्था डगमगाई नहीं। लोगों के जेब में पैसा डालने का काम हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी कर रहे हैं और आज पूरा देश की सूबों की सरकार भी छत्तीसगढ़ सरकार की योजनाओं की तारीफ हो रही है। तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारी सरकार की योजनाएं आज देश के लिए एक रोल मॉडल बनी है। आजादी के बाद देश के प्रथम प्रधानमंत्री पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू से लेकर डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी तक छत्तीसगढ़ और देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को संभालने का प्रयास किया, मगर जब से मोदी जी की सरकार आई है देश की अर्थव्यवस्था का हाल आप सब लोग देख रहे हैं। जब डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी की सरकार थी, तीसरी महाशक्ति के रूप में उभरी थी। अमेरिका, चीन के बाद, दुनिया के बाद हमारा रुतबा होता था, मगर आज जो भारत की स्थिति है, विकासशील देशों में भी हमारे देश को श्रेणी में नहीं रखा गया है। वर्ल्ड बैंक ने पाक, जाम्बिया और घाना जैसे देशों के बराबर हमारे देश के को रखा है। इसका मतलब साफ है, हमारा देश की जो अर्थव्यवस्था जो गर्त में, रसातल में चली गई है। तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे आदरणीय आ रहे हैं जो रिजर्व बैंक के पूर्व गवर्नर रघुराजन जी, उसके साथ साथ शशि थरूर जी बहुत अच्छे जानकार हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं हम सबको, छत्तीसगढ़ वासियों को उसका लाभ मिलेगा, उनके व्याख्यान हम सबको सुनने को मिलेगा। तो आप सब ने हमें आमंत्रित दिया, उसके साथ साथ छत्तीसगढ़ प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी में आप सबका मैं हार्दिक अभिनंदन, हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। हम हमारे अतिथियों का हम सुनेंगे और उन के बातों को आत्मसात करते हुए हम छत्तीसगढ़ में कैसे काम कर सकते हैं उसके बारे में हम काम करेंगे। आप सब ने हमें आमंत्रित किया, आप सबको पुनः धन्यवाद देते हुए मैं अपनी बातों को विराम देता हूं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय छत्तीसगढ़।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure and a privilege to invite the Honorable Chairperson of the All India Professionals Congress, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, Member of Parliament, to the stage. Big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Minister, Adanya Mantri Ji, Shri Bhupesh Baghel Ji, Shri P.L. Punia Ji, General Secretary All India Congress Committee, Shri Mohan Makram Ji, PCC Adhyaksh, मेरे Parliament colleagues Mohammad Javed Ji, Saptagiri Ulaka Ji, मेरे AIPC colleagues Rajiv Arora Ji, Salman Soz Ji, मेरे Deputy, और Zarita Laitlang Ji. यहाँ के मौजूद है हमारी AICC Secretary चंदन यादव भी है, नमस्कार, और सारे AIPC fellows, सारे delegates, friends from all over the country, welcome, good morning, and Jai Hind. I'm very pleased to be with you all today in Raipur, and I want to begin by thanking the people of Chhattisgarh and the organizers, particularly my good friend, the AIPC State President, Kshitij Chandrakar, for having organized such a wonderful welcome. छत्तीसगढ़ में मुख्यमंत्री जी हमें स्वागत का असली अर्थ दिखाया कल से, बहुत अच्छा है. We're very happy to be in your beautiful state. And I'm particularly honored that the Chief Minister is here. मैं उनसे कह रहा था कि देखिए, जब लोग पूछते हैं हमें कि अगर कांग्रेस अधिकार में वापस आया दिल्ली में तो किस किस्म का गवर्नेंस करेंगे आप, किस किस्म की सरकार होगी आपकी, और हम गर्व से कह सकते हैं आइए छत्तीसगढ़ देखिए कैसे विकास चल रहा है, कैसे गवर्नेंस हो रहा है, और किस किस्म की इंटेग्रिटी, कॉन्फिडेंस, एबिलिटी के साथ हमारे नेतृत्व इस प्रदेश को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं. दिस इज द एग्जाम्पल, यह है उदाहरण. आप आए, कांग्रेस को मौका दे दीजिए तो पूरा भारत में हम यही करना चाहेंगे. जैसे I'm here to really talk very briefly to all of you, particularly my AIPC fellow members, about this journey of 5 years that we've embarked upon. When I came into politics rather late in life with the elections of 2009, it did occur to me that one constituency that the political class was not approaching and not working with was indeed that of the professional community. And the truth is that growing up in India, as the son of salaried middle-class father and traditional family, I could sense that there was a very strong chasm, a big gap between the expectations of ordinary people in the professional classes and the political world. It was as if there were two different worlds, and the two were not supposed to meet. And we found a situation in which very often our professionals would do their work, pay their taxes, contribute to the growth and development of the country, but come home at the end of the day feeling alienated from the politicians who are making the decisions and complain about them in the evening. That's the usual experience that many of us growing up in professional families had. And I remember when I used to have a column in the Times of India and the Hindu writing about the fact that it was such a surprise to me, having worked for the United Nations in the US, where the attitude to politicians was exactly the opposite. In fact, in 7 previous presidential elections, the candidates had all been from 2 or 3 of the top universities in America, Harvard, Yale. The best, the cream of the crop, were those who rose to the top in politics. Whereas their equivalents in India were seen as people who stayed away from politics, said politics is not a clean profession, it's not the profession we want, and left it to professional politicians who did nothing else to pursue. And I felt that there was a bridge that needed to be built between these two communities, the political community and the professional community. And I remember survived the issue and once again saw the Congress president. This time we were able to move further forward And when Rahul Gandhi ji was appointed vice president of the party, he took this issue up very seriously. And it was with his active encouragement and blessing that we actually had the establishment of the All India Professionals Congress on the 2nd of August, 2017. Now, creating a new institution in an old party is not an easy job. I think the first challenge, Mohanji will admit, is that the challenge of getting the PCCs to take a new department seriously. Ye kaun aaye, kahan se aaye, kahan paida hua, that attitude is often there. Some PCCs were readier to embrace the new organization. Some others were slower to embrace. We started establishing chapters at different places at different speeds, so that indeed initially we had 5 or 6 active chapters, mainly centered around the bigger cities of India. And it is only gradually that we expanded, so that, for example, we reached Chhattisgarh in full strength just before the COVID pandemic, I would say. So that we were looking at a gradual growth. लेकिन एक नया संगठन को स्थापित करना कभी भी आसान बात नहीं होती है, and especially in an old organization like the Congress, which has established ways of doing things. Everyone knows the Mahila Congress, everyone knows the Youth Congress, but what is the Professionals Congress? People had to get used to the idea. And so we decided that we would focus on quality rather than quantity. I'm proud to say that in these 5 years, the expansion of the organization has taken us to almost 10,000 members in 24 states and 4 union territories around the country. And that has been for us a very gratifying development. We know that not every state is equally strong. We know that not every organizational unit is necessarily as effective. But we are proud that we've been able to attract professionals who are proud of their professions, who are doing serious work in their careers, but who at the same time want to evince an interest in the values, the ideals, the principles for which the Congress Party, as the party of the freedom struggle, has always stood. And these values include the values of an inclusive India, an India that looks beyond divisions of religion, of caste, of creed, of region, of language, and sees us all as one country, one people. It's also an India where we want to look beyond the distinctions of rich and poor, between caste and Adivasis, between Dalits and Brahmins, and all these other divisions that some politicians like to focus upon in a bid to polarize electorates. Our attitude is the Congress stands for bringing everyone together, and everyone must move forward together. None of us can truly be content with our progress if there are others in our society who are not progressing. And the Congress has always believed, even with the big liberalization of the economy that took place in the 1990s, our policy was very clear. Yes, we will liberalize. Yes, we will open up. Maybe the rich will get richer, but in the process, the poor must also benefit. The revenues that come to our government from the new liberalized economy must be distributed to those who do not have anything, so that the marginalized will come in. I made a speech in Parliament saying, never forget that the magic of the market will not appeal to those who cannot afford to enter the marketplace. We have to give them a leg up, give them a chance to come and become participants in our economy, consumers of the future. And that is what I know Bhupesh Baghel ji has been doing in Chhattisgarh with his Nyay program, with the support for farmers, and with trying to extend assistance to the weaker sections of society, so they too can be great participants in the adventure of progress and development in India. This is the journey on which we are embarked, and we know the professionals have a lot to contribute. They have their ideas, their expertise, gleaned from their own qualifications and their own fields. They may be lawyers, they may be doctors, they may well be people from the academic world, teachers, scholars. We can have people of backgrounds that vary from subject to subject, but each one of them, if they're united by the principles and values of what India should be all about, they have a welcome common home in the All India Professionals Congress. I just want to say that it's been an interesting journey. There have been spectacular triumphs. I'm not going to single out any of them, but I'm looking forward to hearing from the leaders themselves, the state presidents and the regional coordinators, about some of the more impressive accomplishments of the All India Professionals Congress in the last 5 years. Whether it is one of the state chapters taking up the issue of pollution, whether it's another one taking up the issue of the impact of the demonetization on the textile mill workers, whether it is many chapters working on the impact of the hasty and botched implementation of GST on ordinary people, whether it is indeed the extraordinary efforts made during COVID, not only to provide relief, which many were doing, and I know that very well done by AIPC Chhattisgarh as well, that apart from providing relief, at a time when mass gatherings and direct meetings were not possible, the professionals were the one group in the Congress that were not handicapped. Right from the very beginning, we used to have very important meetings, virtual meetings, Zoom meetings on the internet, discussing the burning issues of COVID. The first ever internet session discussing with the biotech companies was done by AIPC. The first ever gathering of the big pharmaceutical companies virtually on the internet done by AIPC. Assembling the doctors together with the Indian Medical Association to discuss how to move forward, the vaccination issues, how do we solve the challenges, also done by AIPC. And the first medical hotline, which the Congress Party set up, I'm proud to say AIPC was the one that initiated it, got the people together, and with the blessings of the parent organization, we were able to set up a 24/7 hotline so people with any doubts or fears about COVID could call professional doctors. Not all of them were members and fellows of AIPC. Many were, but some volunteered happily for us because the cause was so good. So there's a lot that has been done, and I would like us all to hear from those who did it, rather than those of us who may be accused of taking credit for their hard work. But I do want to say it has been an eventful 5 years. It has been a productive 5 years. And today, I think I'm pleased to be able to say we have arrived at a certain level of recognition, of competence, and of ability that is widely seen across the Congress Party. And as an evidence of this, I have two messages to read out to you. First, from the Congress President, Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji. The second from the leader who did a lot to establish AIPC more than anyone else, Rahul Gandhi ji. So let me read these messages to you. From the Congress President. On the auspicious occasion of the first annual conclave of the All India Professionals Congress, I send my warm greetings to all of you gathered at Raipur. Together, you represent an enormous range of professions, from science and technology to the arts, to social work, the law, academics, and the liberal arts. You form a gathering of our brightest, most creative minds who believe strongly in our founding principles of liberty, equality, pluralism, and social justice. You are here as a member of the AIPC because you believe politics is the way for you to make a difference, to make a better India, and to serve the nation. Over the 5 years since AIPC was formed, you have enriched the Congress Party immensely with your contributions on a variety of policies and strategies. Now this conclave presents a valuable opportunity for all of you from different parts of India to meet and exchange ideas. And I'm sure the results will be most fruitful, both for the Congress Party and for each of you. As we prepare for the 2024 general elections, we count on you, the members of AIPC, to play an important role in meeting our goals. As you strengthen the Congress Party with your ideals and ideas, your hard work and talents, so that we can fulfill our dream of healing the dangerous wounds and divisions created in the past 8 years, and take up with renewed vigor the task of building the India of our dreams. Signed, Sonia Gandhi. And then there is a shorter message from Rahulji. I would like to congratulate the All India Professionals Congress AIPC on its 5th anniversary. When we established AIPC in 2017, it embarked on an ambitious mission to bring together professionals committed to an inclusive and progressive idea of India. Over the last 5 years, AIPC has carved a space for professionals to engage meaningfully with our political and policy processes. It is heartening to see fellows from across India congregate for the National Conclave. I hope that this conclave will pave the way for many of our fellows to cooperate and collaborate on some of the most pressing issues of our times. As our country faces an unprecedented attack on our democratic ideals, it is critical to not just fight against the attacks on our institutions and values, but to offer an alternative vision for the better future. I hope that AIPC proactively strives to involve professionals from all walks of life to help forge this vision. I would also like to congratulate the chairperson, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, and the team at AIPC for their dedication and hard work. I wish you all success in your future endeavors. Jai Hind, Rahul Gandhi. So these messages are an affirmation that all that you are doing in AIPC is recognized, appreciated, and that your strengthening is a priority for our organization and our leadership. So let us, over the next couple of days, focus on the big issues we're going to have to discuss. We'll have a chance to hear from the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh about his experience of governing the state as an outstanding Congress Chief Minister. We will hear from the renowned economist Raghuram Rajan about the importance of liberal democracy for the economy and of a good economy for the democracy of India. We're going to hear from our own AIPC leaders and colleagues, and I hope above all, we're going to hear from you. The fellows, there will be opportunities after each session to raise your questions and issues. Obviously, because of the numbers involved, not everyone may get a chance to speak, but we'll try and make sure that 3 or 4 voices are heard by the leading speakers at every issue. And before I conclude, I do want to ask you all to rise for a brief moment of silence for the brave AIPC colleagues who passed away during COVID. We have lost 5 colleagues from our organization around the country. Heads in silence for 1 minute. Thank you all very much. I mentioned this particularly because some of them made the sacrifice of catching COVID because of their services during that time. And it's really a humbling moment for all of us to realize that working for AIPC and doing the work that people need to do doesn't always come risk-free. There are challenges, there are important goals to be reached, important achievements to be made, and I hope that their memory will help us all to rededicate ourselves with conviction and passion to the work of AIPC in the future. Sonia Gandhi ji has mentioned, I have the names of those who've gone. Shri Abhinav Bakshi, Shri Nitish Sharan Bhaktawar, Dr. Laitan Punya, and Wing Commander Nafis Veer Chakra. These are some names that have been submitted to us from various AIPC chapters, and I want to once again pay tribute to their memories. Let me conclude by reminding you that Sonia Gandhi ji, in her message, drew attention to the general elections of 2024. I know that many professionals have professions to undertake, but as members of the Professionals Congress, I think we should all remember that there is an important task ahead of us. Already we've seen in the destroyed 2 weeks of the current parliament session that some are sharpening their knives for our party and for the opposition as a whole. It is important that those of us who believe in certain ideals and values for the nation work together and enable us to have a credible and I hope ideally ultimately successful effort to take this country in the right direction in 2024. During one of the sessions, we'll hear from those colleagues who actually worked in state elections in recent years and will tell you about their experience where PCCs have invited AIPC to come and conduct manifesto consultations, to write manifestos, and even to lead outreach efforts in many states, most recently in the Uttarakhand election. We will learn from those experiences, and I want to thank all of those here who have already done the legwork in such states, that perhaps tomorrow, all of us in every state will have a big responsibility to carry forward the challenges facing the Congress Party, the opposition, and every one of us who believes in an inclusive and progressive India, the challenges of 2024. With these words, once again, thank you all for being here. I look forward to our deliberations over the next couple of days. Thank you. Namaskar. Johar. Jai Hind.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and privilege I now invite the Honorable Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Shri Bhupesh Baghel ji, to give the keynote address. Round of applause, please.
दो दिवसीय अखिल भारतीय प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस का सम्मेलन रायपुर में और यहाँ पधारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष शशि थरूर जी, आपका स्वागत है छत्तीसगढ़ में। आदरणीय पीएल पुनिया साहब, आदरणीय मोहन मरकाम जी, सलमान जोशी जी, राजीव अरोड़ा जी, जनीना मैडम, हलेन जी, हमारे प्रभारी सचिव चंदन जी, सप्तगिरी शंकर उल्का जी, क्षितिज चंद्राकर जी, आदरणीय प्रदीप चौबे जी, केसरीलाल वर्मा जी, रामगोपाल जी, दुप्पड़ जी, भाई विकास उपाध्याय जी, सभी उपस्थित देवियों, सज्जनों और सभी अतिथियों का छत्तीसगढ़ की धरती में मैं स्वागत करता हूं। मुझे आप सब जानते हैं, कभी लोकसभा का सत्र चल रहा है, फिर भी शशि थरूर जी, जावेद जी, उल्का जी सांसद होते हुए भी यहाँ पधारे, समय निकाले, उसके लिए मैं उनका धन्यवाद करता हूं और आप सबका स्वागत करता हूं। आदरणीय साथियों, राहुल जी ने 2018 में प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस का निर्माण किया, एक ऐसा मंच जिसमें समाज के जो प्रोफेशनल हैं उन लोगों को मंच दिया जाए, वो अपनी बात कहें, उनकी बात संगठन तक पहुंचे और कांग्रेस पार्टी उनसे क्या अपेक्षा करती है वो बात भी इस मंच के माध्यम से समाज के जो विशेषज्ञ हैं उनके बीच ये बात पहुंचे। और तब से आदरणीय शशि थरूर जी उसका नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं और पूरी, जैसा कि अपने भाषण में उन्होंने बताया, नया संगठन खड़ा करना कोई आसान काम नहीं, लेकिन थरूर साहब ने पूरे देश भर में भ्रमण करके संगठन का निर्माण किया। प्रारंभिक दौर में छत्तीसगढ़ में भी आए थे, यहाँ भी कार्यक्रम हुए थे। आज दूसरी बार शशि थरूर जी यहाँ उपस्थित हुए हैं प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस के कार्यक्रम में, तो मैं उन्हें बधाई देता हूं। आदरणीय साथियों, आज से 8-9 साल पहले देश में चर्चा चली थी गुजरात मॉडल की। पूरे देश में 2014 के लोकसभा चुनाव के पहले गुजरात मॉडल की पूरे देश में चर्चा रही, लेकिन 9 साल बाद आज कोई नहीं बता सकता कि गुजरात मॉडल है क्या। गुजरात मॉडल का देश में क्या प्रभाव पड़ा, उसका लाभ क्या हुआ। जिन लोगों ने बहुत जोर शोर से गुजरात मॉडल की बात की थी, आज उसकी चर्चा भी नहीं करते, उन्हें कुरेदने के बाद भी कुछ नहीं बताते। लेकिन देश देख रहा है कि गुजरात मॉडल का हश्र क्या हुआ। जो 47 से लेकर 2014 तक जितनी परिसंपत्तियां विभिन्न सरकारों ने, राज्य सरकारों ने, भारत सरकार ने, विभिन्न राजनीतिक दल के नेताओं ने, श्रमिकों ने, किसानों ने, व्यापारियों ने, उद्योगपतियों ने, हमारे प्रोफेशनल्स की जो मेहनत है उससे रघु राजन जी आ रहे हैं, हम आरबीआई के पूर्व गवर्नर, उनका स्वागत करते हैं, अभिनंदन करते हैं। ये हमारा सौभाग्य कि आरबीआई के पूर्व गवर्नर एपीसी के कार्यक्रम में छत्तीसगढ़ में पधारे हैं। मैं पुनः आप सबसे जोरदार ताली बजाकर उनका स्वागत करने का अपील करता हूं। मैं अर्थव्यवस्था की बात ही कर रहा था कि रघुराजन जी का आगमन हुआ, और वो बात मैं कह रहा था कि गुजरात मॉडल की बात रघुराजन जी, शशि थरूर जी बेहतर जानते हैं। उसी की मैं चर्चा कर रहा था कि गुजरात मॉडल है क्या। पूछने पर कोई नहीं बताता, लेकिन उसे हम सब भोग रहे हैं। कि देश की सारी परिसंपत्तियां एक एक करके बिक रही है, और उसके कारण से देश में बेरोजगारी, गरीबी, कुपोषण, इसमें लगातार वृद्धि हो रही है। ऐसे समय में देश और दुनिया के अर्थशास्त्रियों ने डीएफटी की बात कही। 2018 आते आते राहुल जी ने न्याय योजना की बात कही, जिसमें न्यूनतम आय हर व्यक्ति के पास होना चाहिए। राहुल जी ने तो 72,000 रुपये प्रति परिवार की बात कही। उस चुनाव में लोगों ने इसको ध्यान नहीं दिया, हम सब इमोशनल मुद्दों पे चले गए। सही मायने में इसकी चर्चा भी लोगों तक के पहुंची नहीं। लेकिन हमारी छत्तीसगढ़ की सरकार ने न्यूनतम आय के साथ साथ न्यूनतम आवश्यकता क्या है, उस पर हमने जोर दिया। न्यूनतम आय और न्यूनतम आवश्यकता दोनों में थोड़ा सा अंतर। न्यूनतम आय आप यदि सीधा आम आदमी के पास वो पैसा आप ट्रांसफर कर देते हैं, तो वह व्यक्ति बाजार जाएगा, सामान खरीदेगा, वह व्यक्ति उपभोक्ता हो सकता है, बाजार मजबूत हो सकता है, लेकिन वह व्यक्ति आर्थिक रूप से मजबूत नहीं हो सकता, कमजोर ही होगा। लेकिन छत्तीसगढ़ में हमने न्यूनतम आवश्यकता को जोड़ दिया। आय तो हो और उसके साथ आवश्यकता। आवश्यकता क्या? भोजन जो सुपोषित हो, साथ ही उसके आवास, शिक्षा, रोजगार, और उसके साथ उसकी उद्यमता कैसे बढ़े, इस पर हमने जोर दिया। और आपने देखा होगा किसानों के ऋण माफी के साथ साथ जो न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य है उसे हमने 2500 रुपया किया। धान का हमारा प्रदेश धान उत्पादक राज्य है। बीच में भारत सरकार ने रोक लगाया कि आप समर्थन मूल्य से 1 रुपये भी ज्यादा खरीदेंगे तो आपका चावल आपके राज्य से नहीं खरीदा जाएगा। तो हमने राजीव गांधी किसान न्याय योजना 9,000 रुपये प्रति एकड़ हिसाब से देना शुरू किया। वो अपनी आवश्यकताओं को पूरा कर ही रहा है, लेकिन साथ साथ उसकी उद्यमता भी बढ़ रही है। जो खेती करेगा उसी को हम पैसा दे रहे हैं, नहीं करेगा तो नहीं देंगे। मतलब मेहनत को, श्रम को हमने जोड़ा। दूसरी बात, यदि आप उद्यमता करना चाहते हैं, मेहनत करना चाहते हैं, तो सबसे पहला घटक है वो पानी है, जल है। तो इसलिए हमने पिछले 3 सालों में लगभग 12,000 नाला को वाटर रिचार्ज किया। हमने 12,000 नालों। क्योंकि पानी यदि जंगल में रुकता है तो आपके जंगल हरे भरे होंगे, जंगल में लघु अनुपज का उत्पादन बढ़ेगा। लघु अनुपज उत्पादन बढ़ने से वहां जो जंगल में रहने वाले लोग हैं उसके आय में वृद्धि होगी, उसको वैल्यू एडिशन करने से उसको रोजगार भी बढ़ेगा। और दूसरा, वही नाला यदि गांव में आकर रुकता है, पानी गांव में हम रोकते हैं पानी, तो फिर कृषि समृद्ध होगा, मछली पालन होगा, आजीविका के और भी साधन शहर में आता है, तो आजीविका के साधन और समृद्धि भी बढ़ती है। जल स्तर जहां जहां नीचे गया है आप देखेंगे वहां कृषि, उद्योग, व्यापार सब प्रभावित हुआ है। तो पहला घटक ही जल है। और इसलिए हमारे जो नारा है, छत्तीसगढ़ के चार चिन्हारी, नरवा गरवा घुरवा बाड़ी, एला बचाना है संगवारी। तो नरवा पहला है, नाला पहला है, पानी पहला है, उसके बाद गरवा, पशुधन। जल यदि हमारे पास है तो हमारा जंगल भी सुरक्षित रहेगा, हमारे कृषि भी संवर्धित होगा, हमारे उद्योग और व्यापार के लिए भी जल उपलब्ध होगा, और साथ ही शहर के विकास के लिए भी आवश्यकता की पूर्ति होगी। ये जल है, नरवा है। फिर कृषि, फिर आ गया पशुधन। आज जब गोबर खरीदी की बात करते हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथी हमारे हंसी उड़ाते हैं, ये गोबर को राज चिन्ह बना दो। लेकिन उसके पीछे जो उद्देश्य है, गोबर खरीदना मात्र उद्देश्य नहीं है। गोबर यदि खरीदेंगे तो जानवर को, यदि गोबर आप बेचना चाहते हैं तो जानवर को चारा खिलाना पड़ेगा। बिना चारा खाए गोबर देने वाला नहीं। गोबर से यदि आप उनके इनकम, किसी भूमिहीन श्रमिक का, गरीब आदमी का, यदि गोबर से उसके आय में वृद्धि हो रही है तो केवल उतना ही उद्देश्य नहीं है, बल्कि धरती के भी, जमीन की जिस धरती से हम ले रहे हैं, अनाज ले रहे हैं, खनिज ले रहे हैं, सब कुछ हम प्रकृति से लेते जा रहे हैं, लेकिन वापस देने का काम कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं। आज पराली जलाने से दिल्ली परेशान है। यदि पंजाब में, हरियाणा में पराली जला दे तो दिल्ली परेशान। सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक की बात आती है कि पूरा गैस चेंबर बना दिया आपने। हमारे यहाँ गोबर खरीदेगा, उसके बाद गौठान, गौठान के बाद हम किसानों से कहते हैं कि आप पैरा जलाइए मत, पैरा दान करिए। किसान पैरा दान कर रहे हैं, वो कार्बन जो उत्सर्जन हो से बचा भी रहे हैं, और मवेशी की चारा की व्यवस्था भी कर रहे हैं, और गोबर के माध्यम से फिर धरती में देने का काम कर रहे हैं। तो जमीन की उर्वरा शक्ति भी बराबर बनी हुई। आज देश में किसी राज्य के पास 75 लाख क्विंटल गोबर नहीं, हम 2 साल में खरीद के बता दें, और 20 लाख वर्मी कंपोस्ट बना के बता दिए। और यही श्रम जो हमने पैसा दिया है गांव में, उस पैसे से रूरल इंडस्ट्रियल पार्क गांव में हम बना रहे हैं। जंगल के गांव हैं, वहां महुआ के लड्डू भी बन रहे हैं, चिक्की भी बन रहे हैं, वहां इमली के पेस्ट भी बन रहा है, इमली की कैंडी भी बना रहे हैं, 4 चिरौंजी, और मिलेट्स हमारे यहाँ उसके एनर्जी बार बना रहे हैं। उसके समर्थन मूल्य खरीदी की व्यवस्था भी हो रही है। तो वनवासियों के जो अर्थव्यवस्था, उसमें बड़ा परिवर्तन आया। मनीष शर्मा जी बैठे हैं, जगदलपुर से आते हैं, वहां की इकोनॉमी में क्या परिवर्तन आया बस्तर में, वो बता सकते हैं। या अभी जो नर्तक दल आए हैं बस्तर के, उनसे भी बातचीत करेंगे तो उनसे पता चलेगा उसके जीवन में क्या बदलाव आया। छत्तीसगढ़ में कृषि के क्षेत्र में हमने आज आवारा पशु की जो समस्या उसे दूर किया है। जो फसल, जो एक फसल, 2 फसल तो ले नहीं सकते, एक फसल बचाना मुश्किल था। इसलिए न्यूनतम आय ही नहीं, न्यूनतम आवश्यकता की पूर्ति, और वो जो राशि दे रहे हैं वो केवल उपभोक्ता न रहे, बल्कि हम उसे उत्पादक भी बना रहे हैं और उपभोक्ता भी बना रहे हैं। तो गांव में उत्पादन होना शुरू हो गया। और उसके उत्पाद को हम सी मार्ट के माध्यम से, आजकल डी मार्ट सुनते हैं, तो हम लोग छत्तीसगढ़ में सी मार्ट बना दिया। हर जिले में हमारे सी मार्ट है। 3 साल पहले तक के यहाँ 150 प्रकार के चीजों को उत्पादन करते थे। आज 600 प्रकार के सामग्रियों के, जो लघु वनोपज से जुड़े हो चाहे कृषि से जुड़े सब चीजों से 600 प्रकार के उत्पादन कर रहे हैं, इसी विक्रय की व्यवस्था कर रहे हैं। नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में भी हम जाना चाहते हैं, उस दिशा में भी हमारा प्रयास चल रहा है। तो न्यूनतम आय से केवल उपभोक्ता हमको नहीं बनाना है, बल्कि न्यूनतम आय के साथ न्यूनतम आवश्यकता, और न्यूनतम आवश्यकता के पूर्ति के साथ साथ वो व्यक्ति जो समाज के अंतिम छोर में है, वो केवल उपभोक्ता न रहे, बल्कि उत्पादन में सहयोग करे, उत्पादक भी बने और मजबूत उपभोक्ता भी बने। और यही कारण है कि आज छत्तीसगढ़ मॉडल की चर्चा होती है। देश में चर्चा इसीलिए हो रही है, शुरुआती दौर में जरूर हमने ऋण माफी किया, 2500 रुपया क्विंटल में धान खरीद करने शुरू किया, तो निश्चित रूप से हमारे अर्थव्यवस्था में भार पड़ा। लेकिन आज मैं 3-3.5 साल बाद ये कह सकता हूं, किसी भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी शासित राज्य के इकोनॉमिक्स से आप तुलना करेंगे, किसी पैरामीटर में, किसी पैमाने में, तो छत्तीसगढ़ कहीं पीछे नहीं है। उसका फायदा ये हुआ, हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था में सुधार तो हुआ ही, उसके साथ साथ सबसे ज्यादा जो परिवर्तन आया है वो यहाँ के किसानों के, यहाँ के मजदूरों के, यहाँ के जंगल में रहने वाले लोगों के, और सबसे ज्यादा जो खुशी और चेहरे में चमक और आत्मविश्वास से भरा यदि कोई चेहरा दिखाई देता है, तो दुनिया के आधी आबादी महिलाओं के चेहरे में, जो स्व सहायता समूह के माध्यम से जो काम कर रहे हैं, उसके चेहरे में दिखाई पड़ती है। जो आत्मविश्वास दिखाई पड़ता है वो अद्भुत है। तो ये गुजरात मॉडल तो हम लोगों ने देख लिया। अब शशि थरूर जी छत्तीसगढ़ मॉडल की बात किए हैं, तो निश्चित रूप से ये मॉडल सोनिया जी का, राहुल जी का मॉडल है, ये कांग्रेस का मॉडल है, ये हम सब का मॉडल है, जो हम सबको समृद्धि को, शिक्षा से, स्वास्थ्य से, रोजगार से जोड़ने का काम ये मॉडल कर रही है। मैं पुनः छत्तीसगढ़ में आप सबका स्वागत, अभिनंदन करते हुए, 2 दिन का सत्र है और 2 दिन के सत्र में आप सब इसमें भाग लेंगे। एक नई दिशा इस मंच के माध्यम से, हमारे प्रोफेशनल कांग्रेस के माध्यम से पूरे देश को मिलेगा। मैं इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ पुनः शशि थरूर जी का, रघुराजन जी का, आदरणीय पुनिया जी का और सभी दूसरे प्रदेश से आए हुए अतिथियों का स्वागत करते हुए अपनी वाणी कहीं विराम देता हूं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय छत्तीसगढ़।
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to rise while the Honorable Chief Minister exits. He unfortunately has the affairs of state to deal with. We'd like to give him a round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We're just going to wait for the Honorable Chief Minister. Thank you so much, sir. I request our colleagues in the AIPC to please remain seated. Ladies and gentlemen, respected colleagues of the All India Professionals Congress, we are just going to have a small token of gratitude being mentioned to you from our State President Kshitij Chandrakar. A little word from myself to you, and then we will break for a tea, and then we will welcome back Raghuram Rajanji and Dr. Shashi Tharoor for their interactive session, which will also include an audience Q&A. So if I could request you to please go back to your seats. Colleagues, friends, can you see me? Hi. It feels so good. It feels so good to see you all. For the better part of 5 years, I've been traveling this country, this beautiful country of ours, meeting with you, talking to you, comparing notes with you. And thanks to you and thanks to this great organization, falling in love with my country once again every single day. So as a young Indian, can I please say thank you to you for giving me the absolute best job in the world. And Dr. Shashi Tharoor, thank you very much for trusting me with this responsibility. It is perhaps telling that no fewer than 20 different states are represented here today. Though we are a fraction of the total size of the strength of the All India Professionals Congress, we are a coherent manifestation of the potential of this strength. I say life goes full circle sometimes. When we set out to start this great adventure called Professionals Congress, as the chairman mentioned, we had literally no idea what we were in for. I remember sitting in the meetings, figuring out how to operationalize something that's never been done before. And the only thing we had going for us was the best practices. Well, I'm pleased to say, judging by the talent in this room and the talent I see in every single one of our conclaves, every single one of our conversations, we not only have the best practices, but we have the best people. I'd like you to give a round of applause to yourselves. लोगों को लगता है कि मैं कल पैदा हुआ था। हाँ, मैं युवा नागरिक हूँ, मैं मानता हूँ, मगर मैं परसों पैदा हुआ था। एक दिन में बहुत फर्क है भाई। And that one day has been 5 years of progress under Congress. Professionals Congress is a testament to the largesse and the kindness of this great country. From Kanyakumari to Kashmir, quite literally, from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, we have colleagues here today. Many of you are going to meet each other for the first time. Many of you are going to talk to each other for the first time, but you will be familiar in that first time interaction, almost like meeting a family member. Have you ever thought, why is that? I'll tell you why. It's because we all want the same thing. Progress. It speaks many languages, but it has one vocabulary: kindness. My special thanks to Dr. Shashi Tharoor, my big brother Salman Soz, Zarita ji, Rajiv ji, and a special shout out to Dr. J. Geeta Reddy ji, who we are missing very dearly here today. Dr. Geeta Reddy, if you're watching this, we hope you get well soon. There is an empty seat for you. We hope that we will see you back in that seat as soon as possible. Round of applause, please, for Dr. Geeta Reddy ji. We will take a little bit of time to get into the groove of this event, and through AIPC style, there's always a little functional chaos, but that's fine. We have, of course, one of the most eminent economists in the world, Raghuram Rajanji, who's come all the way from Chicago here. On a personal note, I'd just like to say that I have had the great privilege of interacting with many people, including presidents and prime ministers, but never have I met someone as humble as Mr. Rajan. So, sir, I want to thank you for inspiring a young professional with your kindness and your humility. Colleagues, I will not gild the lily any further, but I simply wish to compare one final note with you. We are witnessing an unprecedented scale of confrontation and confusion in our great national discourse. I have unfortunately seen far too many acts of violence in my own life, whether it is the loss of a family member, the loss of a colleague, some of whom were mentioned here by the chairman today. I am trying to constantly readjust myself to the new normal that occurs every day. There is nothing more powerful than an absolute loss. I'm looking at some of you colleagues here. We spent hours talking to each other about what that loss meant. Everyone in this audience, everyone in this country, in fact, everyone in the world has been affected by COVID-19. We've all lost someone, we've all lost friends. We've all realized the meaning of life. We have with us here today about 24 hours worth of quality programming brought to you by the Professionals Congress. It is but a moment, but that moment is a very important one. It allows us to compare notes as colleagues and as friends. Let me also highlight to you the alternative. Loss is absolute. Lose someone to death, absolute. There's nothing we can do to change that. But there is an equally more powerful power, hope. And when I see you here today, when I see these leaders here today, when I see these people talk with the kind of conviction that you do, it gives me great hope. The fact that you have taken the time and trouble and expense to come all the way here to Chhattisgarh from all over the country gives me hope. I want to thank you for reminding me every single day why this country will always be more than the sum of her parts. You, my fellows, my fellow countrymen, my fellow colleagues of AIPC, inspire us. As the chairman said, this event is about you. Violence today comes in many forms, unfortunately, and it is only compounded by the vulgarity of income inequality. As a rapidly increasing indifference occurs institutionally, we're only further deteriorating the caliber of our society, the kindness of that society, the largesse of that society. When a parent has to choose between school fees and rent, when a pensioner needs to choose between medicine or essentials, then you and I have failed this great society of ours, and we have failed to discharge our duty, our most sacred duty, far more important than power, than politics, is Desh ki Nagrikta, citizens of this country. We have a choice, you and I. We can continue to fight amongst ourselves and bicker and other one another, or we can realize that what unites us is far more powerful and far more universal than what divides us. Don't take my word for it. Look to the left of you and look to the right of you. And you will see someone who's come from another part of the country because they believe, like you, that this country is great. Ours is a civilization, my friends, that is great not because of our monuments. It's certainly not because of the fancy buildings or gentrification. It is great because of the scale of our dreams. Every one of you is a parent and you want your children to do well. Well, one day I hope to be a parent too, and I hope for my country to do well. Lastly, I just want to say, as you know, I am one of the youngest colleagues that you have, but I'm also one of those people with the most responsibility. I want to thank you for never making me feel like I don't know what I'm talking about or like I'm out of my depth. Your kindness, my colleagues, your kindness is why I'm still here. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for collectively working together to figure things out. It is in that spirit that I conclude and say this. My fellow Indians, my fellow fellows of AIPC, my fellow warriors for progress, my professionals for progress, let us work with the power of hope. Let us work with a concerted effort to find, to seek, and to never yield. I think someone said that there is only death and taxes in life. Well, I want to add and say there's also hope. Because without it, we are truly hopeless. And there's no such thing as being hopeless. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here today. मैं आपका आभारी हूँ. I'd like to finally call my good friend and colleague, Mr. Kshitij Vijay Chandrakar, on stage to give his final welcome address, and then we'll break for a tea. Thank you.
Thank you, Alim Bhai. And thank you, everyone, for making the trip to Chhattisgarh. I would like to welcome you again. Most of you I've met in person. I've welcomed you. We've shaken hands, but the ones who I haven't met, welcome to Chhattisgarh. I'm Kshitij Chandrakar, AIPC President. I've been instructed to keep this short. So these next 2 days are going to be incredible, full of wisdom, and would be the times that you would remember and cherish for the rest of your life. Chhattisgarh being one of the few states which is doing exceptionally well in all indexes. There is a lot to say about Chhattisgarh, not in just sense of a place of being a venue for you, but in terms of adjectives, what it could mean and what defines the state, but I'm not going to get into it. We will slowly uncover over the period of next 2 days what Chhattisgarh has to offer for you and where we've gotten so far. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope we are able to provide you with the best accommodations and best facilities that we can. Jai Johar, Jai Chhattisgarh, and I hope you guys. All right, thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We were hoping to have a slightly larger break, but we've run over. So we're going to do a 5-minute break and then back here with Dr. Shashi Tharoor and Sri Raghuram Rajan. Thank you.